Nothing can compare to the human impact of the fires across our state, but many are also keeping an eye on the health of the forests and the rivers.
The McKenzie River was at the heart of the Holiday Farm fire, and as KZI 9 News reporter Chris Lewinberg shows us, its beautiful waters will face challenges, but there is hope that they will come out clear on the other side.
The banks of the river are now marred by patches of destruction, but also life.
You know, the McKenzie River really defines the community in many ways, and the community has been through a pretty traumatic event.
Keeping these waters clean has been the mission of nonprofit McKenzie River Trust for more than 30 years. The lands they protect provide critical habitat and feed into the watershed. Along Highway 126, none were untouched by fire.
We have a lot to learn about what has happened. It's still unfolding before us.
Among the natural wonders at risk, the beloved but threatened Chinook salmon.
We knew that right around the time of the fires, traditionally when spring Chinook, wild spring Chinook salmon are returning to the side channels and lower areas of the McKenzie River and spawning. So we were concerned and wondering, well, what's going on?
OSU watershed scientist Kevin Bladen has visited the Holiday Farm fire burn area to answer those questions.
Can we identify areas that are going to represent a threat in terms of future erosion, debris flows?
He says that normally forests allow rainfall and water to be absorbed by the soil. In severely burned areas, and especially on steep slopes, water flows on top of the soil and possibly right into the water.
Now, along with that rainfall can come things like soil, lead, arsenic, and mercury, which can do things like impact the optical clarity of the water or even encourage algae growth. But for now, it seems the water is running clear.
But wildfire is a part of nature. The creation of a complex environment in the water can actually encourage healthy ecosystems.
If you study the whole system, you start to realize there's always some winners and some losers, and some things that change in a really positive way and other aspects that are quite negative and persist for multiple decades.
The fall and winter rains could change everything. The McKenzie River Trust Executive Director Joe Moll was able to check in on the waters for the first time just last week.
Right along the edge of the river, didn't seem to burn quite as hard.
Anticipation ran high on the way up Highway 126, but when they got to the riverside,
And there beneath the surface were Chinook salmon spawning right there as they've always done.
a sign of hope and recovery. The next generation of Chinook spawned here will begin their long journey to the ocean next year, and it'll be 5 or 6 more until they return.
Try to imagine, what are they going to encounter?
What will the river look like in 6 years?
What is our community going to look like 6 years from now?
Only time will tell. But Mole hopes the river they come back to is a healthier one. In Leesburg, Chris Lewinberg, KZI 9 News.